If you're visiting for a week or so, here's the top things you should consider doing on your visit. You may not be able to fit all of this into one trip, but at least by the end of this video, you'll have some great options and can plan your custom itinerary. The St. Lawrence Market is an icon of the city and at the center of the food scene in Toronto. This famous market is consistently ranked among the top food markets in the world, and at one time was ranked #1 by National Geographic. It's been in operation for 220 years. The St. Lawrence Market has held on tight to its historical roots. It's one of the best places in the city to get a feel for the old world charm of Toronto's past. It offers a chance to slow down, embrace the market atmosphere, browse the endless food and retail stalls, and enjoy a day taking in the sights, sounds, and aromas of one of the best and most vibrant markets in the world. The St. Lawrence Market District is located between Old Toronto and the Distillery District, making it very centrally located to several other Toronto attractions and neighborhoods. The market is open every day, except on Mondays. If you want to experience the market when it's bustling with vendors and locals, visit on a Saturday morning. The best place to start exploring is outside on Market Street. This pedestrian-only street is lined with cafes, restaurants, and historic buildings. Inside, you'll find 120 different vendors selling all kinds of delicious food and retail items. While many of the shoppers in the market are locals buying their weekly groceries and ingredients, the market is a big draw for tourists who are there to experience the market and eat. I think this place is a very interesting and uniquely Toronto attraction. There's lots to see and do in the city, but St. Lawrence Market is for sure one of the best places to go for an authentic Toronto experience. You're going to find locals, travelers from around the world, and amazing food vendors all converging in this one place, and it creates a very cool experience. Add to that Toronto's multicultural population, and you get a market experience that's hard to match. Founded in 1914, the Royal Ontario Museum is one of the most important cultural institutions in North America. The ROM showcases art, culture, and nature from every corner of the world and spanning billions of years. It's Canada's largest museum and houses 13 million artworks, cultural objects, and natural history specimens, featured in 40 gallery and exhibition spaces. Set aside a day to check this place out. It's one of the best museums I've been to and a must-do when visiting Toronto. You'll find amazing exhibits and galleries covering subjects that span the entire timeline of Earth. First Peoples pays homage to the Indigenous peoples of Canada and showcases artifacts like canoes, tools, and clothing. In the China and Korea exhibit, you'll find Chinese murals and sculptures from the 12th to 15th century. There's over 260 artifacts from Korea on display, ranging from the 1st century right up to the 21st. Plus, there's an amazing section on Chinese architecture. In Dawn of Life, you'll take a journey back in time some 4 billion years to the origins of life on Earth. You can explore one of the most amazing fossil collections in the world and learn about the beginning of life and extinctions that have shaped the planet. The Dinosaurs exhibit is one of the best collections of dinosaur fossils in the world and an iconic section at the ROM, showcasing all kinds of specimens from land, sea, and air, dating from 200 million to 65 million years ago. In mammals, you'll see an overflow of dinosaur fossils, plus ice-aged mammals such as a huge mastodont, a saber-toothed tiger, and a giant ground sloth. Birds presents these amazing winged creatures in full flight. One of the highlights here is the albatross, with its 9-foot wingspan. The Bat Cave is one of the more famous highlights of the ROM. Filled with more than 20 bat specimens and over 800 models, the cave is a realistic portrayal of the St. Clair Cave in Jamaica. There are more amazing exhibits in the Europe, Africa, and Asia sections of the museum. Artifacts here date back thousands of years, and exhibits cover a wide range of subjects from ancient civilizations, ancient technology, artwork, religion, and much more. The Ancient Egypt exhibit is an iconic gallery at the ROM. This amazing collection spans from 4000 BC to 400 AD and showcases real mummies, artifacts, and glimpses into daily life and rituals. The ROM also has a couple good spots to eat and grab coffee, so you can explore all day. Built by the Canadian National Railway in 1975, the intended purpose of the CN Tower was to broadcast radio and television signals over the city's skyscrapers, and it was an opportunity to showcase Canadian innovation and the country's industrial ambitions. At 1,815 feet tall, the CN Tower was the tallest building in the world for over 30 years. Your first stop after exiting the elevator is the main observation deck and the famous glass floor. If the elevator ride to the top wasn't unnerving enough for you, step out onto the glass floor. If you're really brave, try laying down. If you want a drink and a bite to eat, check out View Bistros, where you can get beer, wine, coffee, pastries, and snacks. I picked up a chocolate croissant and found a nice window seat overlooking the city skyline. There's a restaurant up here too, but I haven't tried it, so I can't comment. The CN Tower may have lost its title as the world's tallest building, but the views have only gotten better over the years as the city has grown up around it, creating a vast cityscape. After completing the main observation deck, you can head up to the skypod, which is 33 stories higher than the main deck, and it's considerably smaller. Note that this is an additional cost, so make sure you add this when you buy your general admission ticket. You can also do the edge walk for an additional cost. The CN Tower is right in the heart of the city, and there are lots of other attractions within walking distance. The CN Tower is also super handy for navigating your way around. All you have to do is look up and find the tower to get your bearings. A truly unique Toronto thing that you won't find anywhere else is the Kensington Market neighborhood. Located just west of downtown and steps from Spadina in Chinatown, this neighborhood is walking distance to the city center, yet it feels like it's in a world of its own. Many Toronto neighborhoods have a distinct character and charm, but Kensington stands out from the rest with its vibrant colors, vibrant people, and its eclectic shops and food. And if you're into thrifting, you'll love this place. This neighborhood really started to develop its uniqueness in the early 1900s when Jewish families moved into Kensington. They began setting up stalls in front of their homes, and many merchants converted the ground floor of their home into stores, and this tradition has been in place ever since. Still today, when you walk down Kensington Avenue, you'll find the same setup, with storefronts on the ground floor spilling out into the streets, with living quarters on the second and third floors. Over the decades, Kensington saw waves of immigrants settle in the neighborhood, and many continued the tradition of adding storefronts on the ground floor of their homes. With a mix of cultures all living together in this area, it developed a vibrant and eclectic character. You won't find another neighborhood like it, so it's definitely worth checking out on your visit. If you can, visit on Pedestrian Sunday. The Art Gallery of Ontario is one of the largest art museums in North America, attracting approximately 1 million visitors each year. The AGO has a stunning collection of more than 120,000 works of art, ranging from contemporary works to works by Indigenous, Canadian, and European masters. After passing through the main lobby, one of the highlights and certainly the largest work of art in the AGO is the Frank Gehry Stairs. And the great architecture doesn't end here. The entire gallery is full of beautiful architectural spaces. Be sure to grab a coffee and bite to eat here, as the food is really great. You have two options for food: the AGO Bistro, which is a proper sit-down restaurant, and the Espresso Bar, which is where I ate. It was delicious. The AGO is a great escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. It's quiet, the food is great, and you'll be surrounded by amazing art and architecture. Overlooking the city of Toronto sits an historic castle with secret passageways, underground tunnels, a rich Hollywood history, and incredible opulence. Casa Loma is considered one of North America's only true castles, and it's definitely worth checking out. The audio tour is great and provides tons of interesting info about the castle's owner and provides a glimpse into what Toronto was like in the early 1900s. The tour starts in the Great Hall, then moves outside to the beautiful gardens and terraces with great views of downtown Toronto in the distance. After exploring the gardens, the tour moves back inside and explores many of the 98 rooms of this massive home. Sir Henry Pellet, the owner of Casa Loma, was so rich and successful that at one point he controlled 25% of the Canadian economy. It wouldn't last, however, as he eventually went broke and lost everything. It's a fascinating story and incredible home to explore. Be sure to check out the secret stairways behind the fireplace in Pellet's office. Other highlights include the two towers at the top of the castle, which offer expansive views of the city. You'll find food options on both the terrace outside and down in the basement at the Liberty Cafe. Down in the basement is where you'll also find movie posters and info about all the Hollywood movies that have been filmed at the castle over the years. There's also an indoor pool turned movie theater, which plays an interesting documentary about Sir Henry Pellet. From the theater, the tour continues through one of the most famous features of the castle, the underground tunnel, which connects to the other portion of the property, the stables. At 800 feet long, it allowed the home's owner to travel from his home to his cars and stagecoaches without stepping out into the cold Canadian winter air. Toronto is a very modern city with shiny new glass buildings and contemporary architecture. Casa Loma allows guests to step back in time to another century and experience the city from a different perspective. Most of the places on this list are unique to Toronto and experiences you can't get anywhere else. Ripley's Aquarium, however, can be found in other big cities, but what I really like about this is that it has an exhibit dedicated to the Great Lakes and oceans that surround Canada, which is something I haven't seen in other aquariums. Canadian Waters takes you on a coast-to-coast journey exploring more than 80 species of marine life found in the lakes, rivers, and coastal kelp forests of Canada. 20% of the world's fresh water is found in Canada, so there's lots to uncover in this exhibit. Other exhibits include Rainbow Reef, which is over 200,000 liters of water and is home to 100 species of fish, and Dangerous Lagoon, which is the aquarium's largest exhibit with 2.9 million liters of water and features sharks, rays, and sea turtles. Plus, it has the longest moving sidewalk in North America. The aquarium also has the Discovery Center, which is an interactive exhibit and a lot of fun for kids. One of the highlights here is the clear glass tunnel going right through shark-infested waters. There's a cafeteria here, and you can get basics like pizza, chicken fingers, and snacks. Other highlights of the aquarium include planet jellies, life support systems, and the Shoreline Gallery, where you can actually pet the stingrays as they swim by. Established in 1943, the Hall of Fame serves as a tribute to the legends and pioneers who have shaped the world of hockey. From players and coaches to referees and builders, the Hall of Fame honors those who have made significant contributions to the sport. As you walk through the hallowed halls, you'll encounter artifacts and exhibits that chronicle the evolution of hockey, showcasing its cultural significance and impact on Canadian identity. Your first stop will be the NHL Zone, which offers a deep dive into the league's history, featuring multimedia presentations and a timeline of key moments that have shaped the NHL we know today. The Arena Zone is where you'll find interesting displays and artifacts from the original 6 arenas like Boston Gardens and Maple Leaf Gardens. They have some of the original seating, locker room artifacts, and bricks from the original buildings. World of Hockey is the largest display in the Hall of Fame and features exhibits and tributes to all 74 IIHF member countries. This area celebrates international hockey and its greatest moments, historic tournaments and games, and it celebrates players from around the world. In women's hockey, you'll find exhibits about the storied history of women's involvement in hockey going back over a century. The Mask is a retrospective that pays tribute to goalies both past and present, and portrays the evolution of the goalie mask as a piece of protective equipment and as a piece of artistic self-expression. Ever wanted to test your skills against the pros? Well, you can here in the NHLPA Game Time area. This interactive section features mini hockey rinks where guests can challenge their own hockey skills against simulated professional players and goalies. One of the biggest highlights of the Hall of Fame, even if you hate the Habs, is the replica Montreal Canadiens dressing room. From 1924 until 1996, this was the dressing room that saw the Habs win 23 Stanley Cups and was considered the most inspirational room in hockey. The most iconic and famous artifact at the Hall of Fame is, of course, the Stanley Cup, the most coveted trophy in professional hockey and one of the oldest professional sports trophies. The cup is located in the Cathedral of Hockey, aka the Great Hall. Also inside the Great Hall, you'll find portraits of all the Hall of Fame members and one of the greatest collections of professional sports trophies in the world. The Great Hall is an old bank building, and inside the bank vault, you'll find an amazing collection of Stanley Cup rings. On your way out, you can check out the special edition Hockey Hall of Fame Tim Hortons and grab a coffee and donut. The Ontario Science Centre is an interactive museum 10 kilometers north of downtown Toronto, where visitors can learn about science through play and interactive exhibits. What makes this museum great for kids is that they can touch everything. In most museums, you have to tell kids not to touch, but here they can get their hands on almost everything. There's a lot to cover at this museum, so you'll need to set aside a good portion of your day if you plan to add this one to your itinerary. Plus, make sure to account for travel time from downtown and back. From the main hub area, you can go off and explore several different areas, including the Innovation Center, which covers subjects like physics, engineering, psychology, and perceptions. And Human Edge, which highlights the incredible potential the human body has, but also its limitations. Probably the most famous thing to do at the Science Center is the hair-raising experience. There's a couple shows scheduled each day, so make sure you fit this one in. Other interesting sections of the museum are the Living Earth Rainforest Experience, the Science Arcade, which covers physics and engineering, Space Hall, Kids Spark, and the IMAX Experience with its 180-degree screen. There are a few places to grab food and drinks at the Science Center too, like the Valley Restaurant. Toronto obviously has a huge list of things to do and keep you very busy on your visit, but don't forget to plan some excursions outside the city too. Southern Ontario has a ton to offer outside of Toronto's city limits, and I strongly recommend renting a car and exploring other parts of this province. There's so much to see, and for those who want to get a better sense of what life is like in Ontario, you can head out on day trips and explore beautiful towns, amazing natural beauty, beaches, hiking trails, small museums, and historical locations. If you've got a few days, take a road trip to Prince Edward County, the Bruce Peninsula, Algonquin Park, or the most obvious, Niagara Falls. You can do Niagara Falls in one day, but I would recommend booking a hotel in Niagara on the lake and taking at least 2 days to explore Niagara and all the attractions around the falls. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, as it really helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. I don't always know where I'll be next, but I do know I'll be out there exploring, and I invite you to join me. Thanks, and see you next time.